Members of the Afghan American community in Northern Virginia who can vote say in Tuesday's midterm elections, they plan to cast their ballots for candidates who will address the human rights situation and humanitarian crisis brought on by the Taliban's return to power in Afghanistan in August 2021.
We should vote for those who have goodwill toward Afghanistan and those who want to help Afghanistan and Afghans. We should try to identify and find those candidates and vote for them.
For many American voters, hot national topics such as the economy and abortion rights are driving them to the voting booth. Foreign policy issues seldom play a large role in midterm elections.
Overall, midterm elections, particularly these midterm elections, tend to be much more domestic-oriented discussions. They have foreign policy consequences. That's absolutely true. But that tends not to be the thing that is seen as driving voters or that candidates campaign on.
Many Afghan Americans are also concerned about the fate of those Afghans evacuated to the US after the fall of Kabul. Refugees who can't cast ballots in this week's midterm elections. They want Congress to pass the Afghan Adjustment Act or AAA bill, which supporters say would give them the stability and security they need to rebuild their lives in the US.
I'm sure that they have heard about those who gathered in front of the Congress. They should pass the AAA bill so that the recently arrived Afghans facing uncertainty get documents and their problems are addressed. It's because they face money problems.
The Afghan Adjustment Act, a bipartisan legislation, was introduced in both chambers of Congress in August. The act, if passed, would establish a path to U.S. citizenship for Afghans whose immigration status will be uncertain when their temporary humanitarian parole expires.
One of the things that I would hope we can do in the United States is to ensure that those Afghans who have come to this country as part of the evacuation and who are continuing to come because of their work with Americans are able to resettle here in this country if they aren't able to go back to their home country.
Over 80,000 Afghans have arrived in the US since the fall of Afghanistan. Most have been granted parole for 2 years, according to the Department of Homeland Security. But if the AAA bill doesn't pass, their long-term future is uncertain. Shahnaz, Nafees, Voice of America, Washington.